celebration?
Oh, do you know what? We had the most wonderful afternoon over in the amphitheatre where we celebrated the JB Fairfax award winner this year for rural journalism. We met all of our rural achievers and they did a great debate on the role of science in agriculture. We met our 14 showgirls and we announced the 2019 Sydney Royal Easter Showgirl from a town that most people will have never heard of because 30 people live there. It was Walbundry showgirl Stephanie Clancy, and she just did a wonderful job representing her region over the last 5 days, and she'll be the Sydney Royal representative as showgirl for the next 12 months. In second place, we had a lady from Dunedoo, Hugh Bowman's hometown, the famous jockey, and her name's Effie Ferguson. She had the crowd roaring on stage. They just really fell in love with her. And then a wonderful lady from Forbes took out the second runner-up place, and Sally Downey is just a wonderful example of the next generation coming through. She's a drought coordinator living out in Trundle.
Well, congratulations, Jimmy. Another great tradition, isn't it, the Showgirl competition, and wonderful to hear those young ladies doing so well.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tim, we've had a really interesting couple of nights here with the World Series Camdpraft. And tonight we've got a new draw out. The cattle are joining us here at the moment. Each night, our Camdrafters are given a different order in the draw, and it's chosen totally randomly. Now, there's benefits to all the positions in the draw, but if you go out first, like Troy Palmer will be doing tonight on Biniel Arena, well, the good thing is that you get to choose your beast first. The bad thing is you have no idea how it's going to run. And then you look all the way down the draw to our final competitor for the draw here today, Joseph Burgess, and he gets the benefit of knowing the score he needs in order to win. He gets to see how all the cattle have run, but he's left with what's ever in the camp.
Jim Callahan, we'll bring you back in here, the Master of Ceremonies. You've been calling camp drafting for over 20 years. Can you describe to the girls and boys, the mums and dads out there in the grandstand, everyone that's watching on tonight, what is the sport of camp drafting and what exactly are we going to see tonight?
Well, thank you, Tim. Thank you, Lindsay. Well, the sport of camp drafting, Australia's very own horse sport. So the wonderful line of Hereford heifers, once again, many thanks to Elliston Pastoral Company, to the Packer family, to Rob Teague, Scott Mitchell, the management team up there, and the Murray Wilkinson with his dogs. So they'll come over here to what we call the cattle camp. It goes into the yards where the Tyrrell's wine is signs are all around. In there, the cattle will go in there. The competitor will go in and make their selection of one of these wonderful Hereford heifers, and that is out of a possible score of 26. They'll select the beast, bring it to the face of the camp. They'll call for the gates to open, and then they'll come out here into the Mackay Arena, and it'll be a left-hand course. So the first peg, where I'm standing right here at the moment, that will be taken on the left. They get 2 points for that peg. They come around, they'll do the changeover to form the figure eight. They get another point for the second peg. That's 3 out of 4. Then the 2 pegs that are close together, where Murray Wilkinson just rode the lovely grey horse through, there is what we call the gate, and they get another point for that peg there as also, and that is a total of 4 out of 4 for the course. The control of the run, the speed of the run, that is out of a possible score of 70 points. So 26 in the camp, 70 for the horsework, 4 for the courses, out of a possible score of 100, Tim.
And of course, Jimmy, we've seen some amazing runs. The scores to beat. White Young has had an 88 on the first night, an 89 on the second night. And then, of course, we've also seen his counterpart who's been doing a super job, and that is, I just lost my piece of paper with my names here, Bruce Cootholt, and he's done the opposite. He had an 89 the first night, an 88 and a half the second night. We can see the draw order on the board up there, and these beautiful Hereford cattle that we're looking on the big screen, proudly brought to us by the wonderful people from Elliston Pastoral Company.
Yes, Tim, and when we say that we've seen some magnificent runs, and that is very true, but when you see the competitors and the Australian stock horses, we're seeing the cream of the crop. You just can't hop out of bed one day and say, I'm heading down to the Sydney Royal Easter Show to have a run in the draft. You've got to have the points on the board, you've got to have the performance there as well, and have the good horses in fine form. And this is what is all about in like any other part of the competition here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. So you're looking at the very best of the competitors, the very best of the Australian stock horses do battle here for who will be the world champion Camdprafter for 2019.
Well, Jimmy, of course, we have our very best sponsor as well in Tyrrell's Wine. And I know you and I both enjoy a Tyrrell's Wine after the day has completed, whether it's red or white. You have Australian-owned Tyrrell's family. She went to school with one of the Tyrrell's boys, can you believe, many years ago. Still in the same family today, and Tyrrell's Wine, they've been a long-time sponsor of the Camdpraft here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show.
Well, Tim, and I'm looking forward to tonight because I think that I think it might be back to your shout. I done Friday, Saturday. Today is Sunday evening, so I think.
Hang on, you've shouted Friday and Saturday. I haven't seen any of those.
Oh, you must be deaf.
I know, I might be deaf, but I know when my taste buds taste that amazing Tyrrell's Wine, and I know when Whisper over there, standing in the middle of the arena, Jimmy Callahan buys them.
But I'm sure we're in for a very fine round here. Night number 3 of the World Championship Camdpraft.
Now,
I've just got that feeling.
I went on record earlier tonight. I want everyone here to know that earlier this afternoon, Jim and I had a discussion. Jim got splinters from sitting on the fence, but I have predicted that our first rider into the camp tonight is going to be our victorious competitor this evening from Coolah in New South Wales. He's been competing at drafts since he was 8 years old. Some 20 years later, 28, that sounds about his age, doesn't it, Jimmy, for Troy Palmer?
Plus a little tiny bit.
Well, he's the only rider who hasn't given us a profile, they were telling me, so I get to make it up. So I was going to make up all sorts of things for him, but I better be serious because he's a very serious competitor. He's a horse trainer and grazier. He's been one of Australia's leading competitors for many years. He's won the ASB-CRA Horse and Rider title 17 times. He won the 2017 Warwick Gold Cup. He won the 2016 Stallion Draft at the Warwick and the Stallion Shootout at the Landmark in 2017. And he won the National Futurity and Open Challenges. He's been a huge assistant to myself and the team at Willinga Park in getting the Gold Buckle Camdpraft off the ground, where next month we will ride for $100,000 for first prize, $250,000 in total prize money. And Jimmy, for the first time ever, Camdprafting is going to be seen live on free-to-air TV as well, and Troy has helped us do all of that.
Yes, well, there's no doubt that you've done a lot of groundwork in that, Tim, and must be a magnificent venue down there at Willinga Park.
Well, we'll wait for the cattle to settle in the backyard. We'll then bring the cattle into the front camp. Jimmy, we've got the course sitting out here. It's going to be a left-hand course. It's going to be exciting. Now, tell me, we've got horse, we've got cattle out here in the arena. As they work around, do we have to sit quiet or can we cheer?
We can cheer, we can start to cheer, especially when they start to come around that second peg and head towards the gate. That's when we want the girls and boys and mums and dads to warm those hands up and give them the mighty big cheer and welcome to the Sydney Royal Easter Show.
Well, it's going to be an exciting night of Camdprafting, round number 3 to get us underway.
We've got 2 very esteemed and knowledgeable judges out there with us here today, and Skip McCarthy has come all the way from Kempsey. I saw him watching the Showgirls in there because they had a wonderful entrant this year from the Kempsey Show Society. Well, Skip McCarthy's been judging for 30 years.
You don't get away with anything at this show, do you?
Hey, no.
Lindsay said, he's watching the show.
I'm watching everyone. I know where you've all been, boys and girls, mums and dads. But Skip McCarthy has had stock horses and quarter horses all of his life, and he's been 45 years camp drafting. His wife Beryl's in the audience watching us here today.
Well, first competitor into the yard, Troy Palmer, 76 on the first night, just a cutout on the second night, riding Binia Larina is the combination now into the camp.
So the man of the moment, Troy Palmer, Binia Larina. And he's certainly running his eye over these wonderful line of Hereford heifers. He says, which one is there, a 91 or a 90 or a 92? He gets the nod from the judges. We're all set, round 3 on this beautiful Sunday evening here in the Mackay Stadium of the World Championship Camdpraft. Well, Tim, if you can get your prediction right, you'll go from announcer to fortune teller.
That's what I'm planning for. No pressure, Troy. They say in a pressure cooker, diamonds are made.
So he's just about to make his selection. Just turns them down to the back of the cattle camp. So boys and girls, mums and dads, let's ride with these 15 competitors in round number 3. I just got a feeling, Tim, that we're going to see some magnificent runs tonight. He goes in, makes his selection. The Hereford Heifer, Benia Lorena. Lorena says, leave the footwork to me up here on the front of the dance floor. He calls for the gate and he steps out into the Mackay Stadium and around the first peg, and he's Lorena says, well, just sit a little tiny bit. Troy wants to go up now. Oh, finger touch control. Gets the beautiful running Hereford Heifer around the first peg now. Says, catch me if you can. And Lorena says, I can do that in a couple of strides. Troy just touched the GPS. And look at Lorena now. This is Camdprafting right around the second peg. Lorena and Troy Palmer around the second peg. They come. Things are looking pretty good, not only for Benia, Lorena and Troy Palmer, but also the prediction of Tim Dreverman around. Boys and girls, mums and dads, you better get them ready. You better get them ready. Here we can. And Lorena puts it straight through the gate.
Sorry, Jimmy, what was that? Thank you, Troy Palmer, for allowing me to pretend like I know what I'm talking about.
That's going to be a spectacular score when we see it come through. The next in camp I'll introduce to you is Terry Hannigan. He's on Durkin's Onyx. Well, Terry's only been drafting for the last 6 years, and most of our competitors have been doing it since they were kids. This horse, Onyx, he's had for the last 4 years, competing on him during that time, but together they have made a fantastic combination. Their second year competing here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show.
Well, the score's coming through for Troy Palmer and Benia Lorena. A total score of 21.5 for cutout. 59 for horsework, 4 out of 4 for the course, a total of 84.5 points. 84.5 points for Benia Lorena and Troy Palmer. We go with Terry Hannigan, the grazier from Canamble, and Durkin's Onyx, his second year here at the Royal Easter Show. And God gets a nice close first peg, and Durkin's Onyx says, just leave the footwork to me. Terry says, we'll just do a changeover now, and he's going to tighten the second peg up as well. Oh, and Durkin's Onyx says, I like this. And then look at the lovely Hereford Heifer, says, I love being out here in the Mackay Arena. Now they do the changeover. Boys and girls, mums and dads, I think we're going to see something special. 2 in a row. Yes, look here. It's right through the gate. Durkin's Onyx and Terry Hannigan.
Oh, Jimmy, I think you'd have to say champagne drafting, wouldn't you?
Well, I was talking about that last night, champagne camp drafting. I got a message. They said, I think it's Tyrrell's red wine drafting.
Well, into the camp now while we work on that. Turning 23 years of age today. I think I've had about 35 people ring me to tell me that it is White Young's birthday. White, happy birthday, the 14th of the 4th, celebrating it here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. He celebrated a night early last night with a win in the second round. He was equal second in the first round, an 88 and an 89. Can he put 3 full runs on the board and really steam ahead in this competition? White is a top young professional horse trainer. He has had many placings, and it is his birthday today. So happiest birthday, turning 23 years of age. If you see him out later tonight, make sure you go up and say happiest of birthdays.
Terry Hannigan with Durkin's Onyx had a score of 20.5 for cutout, 62 for horsework, 4 out of 4 for the course, a total of 86.5 points. 86.5 points, and Robin, his wife, is still clapping up in the stand. Lovely round there for Terry Hannigan. So we go with number 3, the birthday gentleman, White Young. Cedar Vale Twist, and he certainly put the twist on in round number 2, and he'll be looking to do the same today for round 3. Cedar Vale Twist and White Young. Well, bad luck for Cedar Vale Twist and White Young. Goes out of round 3 with a no score.
Well, heading into camp now, you can see Bruce Coulthard riding Fig. They have had a fantastic Sydney Royal Easter Show. Night 1 placed first. Night 2 placed second. They've only been drafting together this combination for 4 years, but they've done really, really well in that time. Fig Sire, the horse that he's on right now, was Royal Fletch, an NCHA Futurity champion over in the USA. Let's see what he can do here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show.
While we wait for that beast to be removed from the arena, he'll have to be taken all the way out. A big thank you to the Kelly boys for their help in moving the cattle in and out of the arena. And of course, we'll be seeing them a little bit later on tonight in the round number 2 of the Federation Challenge Rodeo. And of course, over here, doing little work as always, Murray Wilkinson, the man who's been responsible for looking after these cattle for the last couple of months. And pleasure having Murray from Elliston Pastoral Company down here.
And we also welcome those people that have been watching the World Championship Camdpraft and other events live stream. So welcome here to round 3 from the Sydney Royal Easter Show, the Mackay Stadium. So welcome to all those viewers on live stream. So we're now with Bruce Coulthard from Long Flat via Warhope with Fig. And Bruce Coulthard steps right up onto the dance floor here. They do the 2, the 3, the 4. Now he's going for the big points out of a possible score of 26. He calls for the gate. He steps out onto the dance floor now of the Mackay Stadium. Now they come around and look, he's going to try and tighten things right up. Jumps out around there a little bit and they've got a nice kind running heifer as well. Now Fig and Bruce Coulthard. He says, I come around now. He said, I'm ready to do the changeover. And he's going to tighten things right up. And Bruce Coulthard and Fig now camped right around on the beast's shoulder. Coulthard and Fig, they come around. He says, just leave the footwork to me. I think we better do the other changeover and go pretty hard and fast. Oh, look here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, warm them up. I think they can do it. I think he can. It's looking pretty good. Right around the beast's shoulder, Bruce Coulthard and Fig, 4 out of 4.
3 from 4 in the draft tonight. That's an amazing effort. What a treat we're having, Sydney. While we wait for Bruce Coulthard's score, we now welcome out into the camp Sue Duggan and Quindella Chief. Sue is a wife, a mother and a farmer, and she returns to the Sydney Royal Easter Show for her 2nd year with her stock horse Chief. Chief has been an accomplished all-round horse for the entire family. He won his first draft when he was 4 years of age, and he's been a strong competitor ever since, now at 19 years of age. And wherever he goes, he's unrecognisable. He's recognisable for his unusual blight blue eyes.
So a score now for Bruce Coulthard and Fig was a score of 22.5 for cutout, 60.5 for horsework, 4 out of 4 for the course, a total of 87 points. 87 points for Fig, ridden by Bruce Coulthard.
New leader in the competition.
So Sue Duggan from Coolah with Quindella Chief. Takes the 3 or 4 wheels, calls for the gate and steps out here now into the middle of the Mackay Stadium and got a very fast one. I'll need Winks to catch her, and the pole Hereford heifer steps away and heads towards the Spint Cattle Gate. So a little bit of bad luck. We'll have a cutout score there only for Quindella Chief, ridden by Sue Duggan. There was a score there of 20.5 points. 20.5 points for Quindella Chief and Sue Duggan.
Well, we can see the boy from Roma, Queensland, make his way into the camp now. Brendan Fitzgerald and More Rocks the horse. This is Brendan's 2nd year here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. He's been campaigning this 9-year-old stallion for the last 3 years with some great successes along the way. Upper Horton maiden first, Tambo Novice maiden first. They had some great success at Canning Downs in the Open as well. And last night, a score of 88 on the board.
So Brendan Fitzgerald with More Rocks. Just studies the Hereford heifers. Says there must be another one here with a big score in. And he's about to make his selection. Well, they just won't move away from him, so he just goes in for a couple of steps and steps back out again. So from Roma in Queensland, Brendan Fitzgerald. Says, there's the one I want. She just drifts off. Comes up the face of the camp. Another one's come up with it. Now he says, I'm pretty right now. Out of a possible score of 26 points here in the cattle camp. And he calls for the gate. He steps out onto the dance floor. Here he comes. Brendan Fitzgerald with more rocks and got a very fast running heifer as well and around the first peg, and things look here right in position. Oh, the heifer just sits a little and is going to go back in on the top side of the first peg. So more rocks, and Brendan Fitzgerald says, just got to go around and we'll get that second attempt. Comes around now. Can they just get it to come around right now? He says, makes no mistakes about it. More rocks says now, well, just if that heifer hadn't have slipped there, we would have been right in the action. Comes around and tightens up the second peg, and more rocks are there, tightens it right up on the beast's shoulder, steps back now, says we'll head towards the gate. Can they beat the time, boys? There goes the whistle. So you'll get a score of 3 out of 4 for the course, and we'll see what the other points come to.
Oh, just to show off, he puts it through the gate anyway. What a great effort, great recovery. While we wait for the score, we welcome out now Barn Lodge Omega Destiny, best known for being the boyfriend of Rebecca Roberts. This is Josh Barnett. He had an 80 on the first night. He won the 7 AB CRA drafts. As I've said that, I might have got that wrong, in fact, but that's all right. We'll come back to it. An 80 on the first night. Can he put himself there? This is his first year competing at the Sydney Royal Easter Show Camdpraft. He's competed in the rodeo previously. Back in 2011, his father competed on the family horse, that Barn Lodge Molly.
So a score now for Brendan Fitzgerald with more rocks was 20.5 for cutout, 54 for horsework, 3 out of 4 for the course, a total of 77.5 points. 77.5 points for more rocks, ridden by Brendan Fitzgerald. So Josh Barnett just eyeballs these Hereford heifers. He says, I don't think I'll change my mind. He says, I'm going to stick to the one that I certainly ran the eye over first. So Josh Barnett, Barn Lodge Omega Destiny, comes up the face of the camp. Calls for the gate. Comes out into the stadium. Josh Barnett, Barn Lodge Omega Destiny, heads out towards the middle of the arena, comes back around, and can he guess? He wheels it back in around the right way. Can Barn Lodge Destiny, and the heifer gives him the slip and goes around the other way. Unfortunately, a cutout score there only for Josh Barnett and Barn Lodge Omega Destiny.
While we wait for the cutout score, Jim, next in camp is a real one to watch, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. He scored consistently here in round 1 and round 2 with an 81.5 on both nights. But the reason he's the one to watch is that he is last year's champion. He was out here on a different horse then at Peelvale Wishes. This is Hugh Miles from Tamworth.
Josh Barnett with Barn Lodge Omega Destiny scored 16.5 points for cutout. 16.5 points for Barn Lodge Omega Destiny, ridden by Josh Barnett. So Hugh Miles. So he's just having a look, getting a little bit of help from the side, but he says, no, I think I'll stick to the one I picked first. So Hugh Miles, number 8 in round number 3. With Honey There Aiken. Third year here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show, World Championship Camdpraft. He knows the stadium. He knows what is needed now. Round number 3. So he makes his selection and up to the face of the camp. And look at Honey There Aiken with Hugh Miles aboard from one side to the other. And down around the back, down along the fence. Comes up, the gate is opened out onto the stadium. They come. This is Hugh Miles with Honey There Aiken, and around the first peg. And look at Honey There Aiken. She says, we'll just sit back here a little bit. We'll let the heifer run on now. They come around the first peg. They do the changeover fairly quickly. She says, we'll just sit here a little bit, Hugh. Now they come around. He's going to tighten it right up. Oh, look at this for camp drafting. Just gives it a little bit of a bump. Hugh Miles now with Honey There Aiken. Now, boys and girls, mums and dads, let's ride with Hughie Miles as he lines up around the gate. Can he do it? Can he do it? Let's cheer him on. Of course he can do it. As Honey There Aiken, well, all the aches are gone away as Hugh Miles puts it 4 out of 4 for the course.
Oh, that's why he's last year's winner, one of the best in the business. Great run from Hugh Miles. While we wait for his score, we now welcome out Rebecca Roberts into the arena, Duckagoras, and she's competed here In the rodeo section, the Junior Rodeo Series, she's currently the AB CRA Ladies Camdpraft leading rider in 2018, and she only started campaigning this horse in 2017. She has goals to win Lady Rider titles and return to the Sydney Royal Easter Show.
U Miles with Honey There Aiken scored 21 for cutout, 62 for horsework, 4 out of 4 for the course, a total of 87 points. 87 points there for Honey There Aiken, ridden by U Miles.
Equal first place at this stage of the competition, equal first place.
So Rebecca Roberts from Lochinvar with Duck Grey Gorgeous. And Rebecca just about to make her selection. She says, this is the one I want. Duck Grey Gorgeous says, right, let's go to work. And they go to work right up the face of the camp. They go 1, they go the 2, they do the 3, the 4. Now she says, I'll call for the gates right in the middle of the yard there. And Duck Grey Gorgeous, Rebecca Roberts steps out into the big stadium. Here we go. What can they do with this lovely pole Hereford heifer? And Duck Grey Gorgeous, and Rebecca Roberts, the beast, looked at that peg and says, I'm just going to duck back in here. Rebecca Roberts now, Kendall the heifer. No, she's not going to cooperate here in round 3. But give her a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Rebecca Roberts, the lady from Lochinvar.
Well, you'll see next in camp Cody Law. Yarrawa Guns N' Roses is the horse. He has competed here before at the Sydney Royal Easter Show, but the last time was quite some time ago, back in 2004. Well, Cody's family have been breeding stock horses since the 50s. They've got Iwara stock horses, and that was founded by Cody's late father, Barry Law, and mother, Annette Law. And these days, he travels the country, judging at many venues in camp drafting, Warwick, Paradise, Chinchilla and Condamine. He's got a couple of really good scores from round 1 and round 2, 87.5 on night 1 and 82.5 last night.
Rebecca Roberts with Duck Grey Gorgeous scored 22.5 points. 22.5 points there for Duck Grey Gorgeous, ridden by Rebecca Roberts. So from the New England area of northern New South Wales, Cody Law, about to make his selection. And he's got the family down as well. They'll have the cheer squad there with Natalie, Riley and Hannah up in the stand. Down to see Dad here in round 3 of the World Championship Camp Draft. As Cody moves in, he said, this is the one I need. This is the one I've been watching all the time. Cody Law, Yarrawa Guns N' Roses, and Guns N' Roses comes right up the face of the camp and goes one side, one the other, does the 3 and the 4. He's about to call for the gate, and there goes the gates. They swing open, and Cody Law and Yarrawa Guns N' Roses, they step out onto the centre stage, and things are looking pretty good. You got the nice fast one. Around the first peg they come. Now, Cody Law and Yarrawa Guns N' Roses. Cody Law, they do the changeover, and look at Guns N' Roses now. Says it's time to pull the gun, and they go around now and got it all covered up as well. Now the lovely running heifer, boys and girls, mums and dads, let's see if we can ride with him all the way as he lines it up. Can he line it up perfectly? Oh, can he do it? Can they do it? Yes, they can. Oh, and Natalie and Riley and Hannah, they're doing the clapping. They got everybody in rhythm. And Cody Law.
Thread the needle through the gate. It went left, it went right, it went left again. He scraped it through. Great run from Cody Law as we welcome out now Adam Sadler. Last night he put an 80.5 points on the board, and he is riding Redless Raven Acres. Has won a variety of drafts from juvenile, novice and ladies competitions, and Sydney Show World Championship last year. This rider was second in the runner-up on Tajano's Spin. He comes from Maules Creek Draft. He won the Open there. Adam Sadler from Boonan in New South Wales, next into the camp.
Cody Law with Yarrawa Guns N' Roses scored 21 for cutout, 64 for horsework, 4 out of 4 for the course, a total of 89 points. 89 points for Yarrawa Guns N' Roses, ridden by Cody Law.
New leader in the competition, that puts him into first place.
So Adam Sadler, the property manager from the Hunter Valley, and just gives him the slip and down the fence and back up the other side. Now Adam Sadler and Relders Raven Acres, and gets a nice fast running heifer as well, and round the first peg they come, and they're doing a little bit over the speed limit, are they? Now will the radar pick him up? Now comes back around the first peg and gets the flowing running heifer, and now Adam says, I think we'll do a quick change over and try and tighten things up. We were a little wide on the first, but he's going to tighten things up around the second peg. Adam Sadler, Relders, Raven Acres, around the second they come. Can they do it? Boys and girls, mums and dads, oh, let's help him. Let's ride with him. Let's ride with him and give him a big round of applause as Raven Acres and Adam Sadler.
Well, we look forward to the score there for Adam Sadler, but next in camp is one of our youngest competitors here this year. He comes to us from Inverell in northern New South Wales. I know, Tim, you had a great chat with him earlier today.
What a champion of a young man. He's got huge aspirations. He's going to be a superstar.
Well, he had a great score last night, so he's off to a wonderful start. 87 points. That put him into 4th place last night. He's only 16 years of age, if you can believe it, and he's done really well at the ABCRA finals. He's had first in the maiden before, second in the open, and we look forward to seeing what he does tonight.
Score now for Adam Sadler with Relders Raven Acres was a score of 17.5 for cutout, 59.5 for horsework, 4 out of 4 for the course, a total of 81 points. 81 points for Relders Raven Acres, ridden by Adam Sadler. So Tyler Berkeley, the nerves have all settled down for Tyler. He was in the placings there last night. So Tyler Berkeley from Inverell with Quentin. And Quentin says, let's go Tyler, we'll step right up the front. Does the 1, he does the 2, the 3 in the middle of the yard, and he calls the gate and steps out into the Mackay Stadium, and he's got a very fast one that wants to head straight across the arena, and there'll be unfortunately only a cutout score there only for Tyler Berkeley and Quentin.
Goodbye nomination fee, unfortunately, tonight with that steer running that heifer running so quick. Well, we welcome now Chappie, Andrew Chapman and Digby from Nundle in the New England. He's been campaigning for 10 years on Digby, who's a 17-year-old bay gelding, sired by Acres Destiny. This is his 5th year at the Sydney Royal Easter Show, and when he's not chasing the camp drafting dream, he's a cattle stud manager. He's had an 88 points for an equal second on the first night, and round 2 he had an 80.5. Can he make it 3 from 3 for the course in round 3?
So Tyler Berkeley with Quentin had a cutout score there of 19.5 points. 19.5 points there for Quentin, ridden by Tyler Berkeley. So we go to number 13 in the draw. Round number 3 of the Tyrrell's World Championship Camp Draft. And the great combination of Andrew Chapman and Digby. And he says, that's the one I want. While she's standing out the front. Another wonderful pole Hereford heifer. Many thanks to Elliston Pastoral Company. Right up the front, and Digby says, leave the footwork to me, and they call for the gate, and they step out into the Mackay Stadium, and things are got a position of pretty, always got one that's going to cut it a little short of the first peg, and Andrew and Digby says, we'll wait for round number 4. So give him a nice round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's things just sometimes don't go to plan.
Well, the boy from Bulladila will be next into camp. Jay Chinook and Urana Copper Acres. Well, Jay loves a whole host of equine pursuits. We've seen him out here showing horses. He rides Western, English, European. He does polocross. But there's nothing he loves more than his camp drafting. And in fact, 2 years ago at the Warwick Gold Cup in the Stallions draft, he had the highest score there, overall finishing up at 4th. He's qualified before here for the Sydney Royal Australian Stock Horse classes for many years. And he's also placed in the top 5 for the R.M. Williams Most Versatile Australian Stock Horse, which we'll see announced later on here this evening, Tim.
So a score now for Andrew Chapman and Digby was 22 points. 22 points there for cutout for Digby, ridden by Andrew Chapman. So number 14 now. Jay Shannock from Bulladila with Urana Copper Acres. 2 competitors left to run in round 2. And once again, many thanks to Elliston Pastoral Company, to the Packer family, to Rob Teague and Scott Mitchell, the management up there and the team, and also many thanks to Murray Wilkinson and those wonderful working dogs, the display that Murray and the dogs put on here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. but to Elliston Pastoral Company and everybody involved under these very trying conditions that we've been in for some 2+ years. Many, many thanks. That great relationship with Elliston Pastoral Company and the RAS. So Jay Shannock with Yorana, Copper Acres, and he gets a fairly fast one. It just slips a little bit. Now Copper Acres says, oh, and a one that just slips around and gets around under her neck and goes around the back of the gate. But give him a round of applause. They were certainly trying, but just gave him the slip there, so there'll be a cutout score there only for Jay Shannock and Yorana, Copper Acres.
Well, into the arena now, in the camp, I should say, from Bulladila, we welcome Avalon Illusion. And Joseph Burgess had an 81.5 in night number 2. He only started riding when he was just 18 years old. This is his 3rd year competing at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. He's an equine dentist. Currently sitting equal 2nd and 3rd in the AB CRA Open Horse and 4th in the most successful rider. And his horse, Avalon Illusion, is a 14-2 9-year-old mare that has been campaigned together for the last 3.5 years.
So Jay Shannock with Yorana, Copper Acres had a cutout score there of 23.5 points. 23.5 points there for Yorana, Copper Acres, ridden by Jay Shannock. So Joe Burgess, well, he's a horse dentist by trade. He'll be looking to pull a big score out here as well. So he says, which one am I going to take? As they say, never change your mind in this game. Joe Burgess says, I think I better stick to plan A. About to move in to make that selection, round 3 of the Tyrrell's World Championship Camdpraft. Just waiting for the heifer to move up the fence a little for him. They don't want to leave one another at the moment. Been some great rounds here in round 3. Just comes up and turns them back again. He steps in. Says, I'll go in and get her. So Joe Burgess, Avalon Illusion. The heifers don't want to drift away. They want to stick with one another here late this Sunday evening. But these top horsemen and the very clever horses, they'll get them apart. So now they go to town. Joe Burgess, Avalon Illusion. They call for the gate. They step out into the Mackay Stadium. And he's got one that heads straight. I know where the first peg is. And look here, Joe Burgess now. And Avalon Illusion. Around the first peg they come. And the lovely-eyed, and look at the lovely heifer. She says, I just love being out here. She says, where do you want to chase me around this peg as well? I'll come around here as well. And look at Avalon Illusion. Now, and Joe Burgess says, I think it's nearly time to go. They come around the second peg. We're seeing another fine camp drafting run here in round 3. But boys and girls, can they do it? Can they do it? He's taken a shortcut. Can he put it around? He goes around to Joe Burgess and Avalon Illusion. Oh, it's so close, but just a little far away.
Can we bias the judges, Jimmy? I think it went through. I'm sure it went through.
It looked like it from here, didn't it?
It was pretty close.
You wouldn't like to be sitting in your seats.
I should actually tell you about Keith Horrigan, who is, we have 2 judges out there. He's from Walker. He's been here for many years at Sydney Royal, 35 years drafting at least. And he always says that it's such an honour to be here at this prestigious event.
Yes, once again, many thanks to our 2 camp draft judges, Keith Horrigan and Skip McCarthy. So we'll have a score coming through for you very shortly. And a score for Joe Burgess and Avalon Illusion. A score of 18.5 for cutout, 58 for horsework, 3 out of 4 for the course. A total of 79.5 points. 79.5 points for Avalon Illusion, ridden by Joe Burgess.
Well, he'll be pretty happy with that, even though he didn't make it through that last gate. We've seen some pretty impressive camp drafting here tonight with some strong scores up on the board.
Well, we'll have the presentation shortly, but unofficially it looks like congratulations to Cody Law, 89. We've had 3 wins, all on 89. equal. Second place tonight will go to Bruce Coulthart and Hugh Miles, both on an 87. Terry Hannigan, he will be on an 86.5. And Jimmy, I didn't pick first, but I picked the other end of the lineup. I just got a bit confused. Troy Palmer in 5th place on an 84.5 points to take out 5th place.
So, Tim, I'm just here with Skip McCarthy, one of our Camdpraft judges. Welcome to the Royal Easter Show, Skip, and seen some good runs tonight in round number 3.
There was, yes. They're excellent rounds, and we hope they continue. The cattle have been magnificent. The grounds have held up well, and also it's been a privilege on my behalf to be here to be able to judge such wonderful competitors that come from far and wide.
And Skip, you've been involved in the camp drafting industry for a few years now, and the camp drafting just seems to get bigger and bigger and stronger, and some great horses and great competitors around.
They are. There's better horses, better training, and heaps more of them.
Well, great to see you here, and all the best for the remaining rounds of the World Championship Camp Draft, Skip.
Thank you.
So there's one of our Camp Draft judges, Skip McCarthy. We spoke to Keith Horrigan earlier on round 1. So we'll just catch up with the winners here very shortly. They're lining up ready for the presentation.
Well, I don't know if we mentioned before just quite how hard it is to get through to the Sydney Royal Easter Show World Championship Camp Draft. It is invitation only. These people need to have achieved around Australia in order to be here. And the best camp drafters in the country then compete night after night for 6 consecutive nights, cutting out a beast from the mob, moving it around the course in front of tens of thousands of people. And each night our winner leaves with 4 points, second place 3 points, so on and so forth down the line. And the winner at the end of the 6 nights is the one that has accumulated the most points.
Thank you, Lindsay. I'm just here with the winner of round 3, Cody Law. Cody, the nerves are certainly settled down, and no better spot to be in at the moment. A great round there on round 3.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. Pretty proud to get the win tonight. I'd particularly like to thank the cattle donors, lovely line of heifers been a tough season, and congratulate the rest of the competitors and thank the Show Society for putting on this great event.
Cody, you've been born in the saddle just about, go back a few years now, but camp drafting, and it's a great family sport.
Yeah, it sure is, Jim. We love it. We don't go as often as we'd like to, but it sure is. It's a great family sport, and our kids are just starting, and my wife drafts, and my family did, yes.
Also, Cody, tonight when you go around, you and Natalie will be having a little bit of a celebrating drink with a nice bottles of Tyrrell's.
Definitely, mate. We actually sampled those last night with a few prawns.
And you're very lucky to bring your own cheer squad with you, Riley and Hannah up there as well with Natalie.
Yeah, mate, they've actually been here all week. They've actually had to go home today to keep the farm.
Okay, thank you very much, Coach. Very best. Okay, Tim and Lindsay, thank you very much. That wraps up round 3 in the presentation.
An amazing event, Jim. Congratulations. Hey, Sydney, please put your hands together for your winner. Out in front there tonight, taking home a win on a score of 89 points. This is Cody Law. And Cody, of course, riding Yarrawa Guns N' Roses to take a superb win.